Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a great morning and a great trading session so far. Sorry I'm a little late. I went to sleep too early last night and yeah, I'm paying the price for it. Let's see. We have a zigzag that's not attached at the moment. Let's see, that's 188. Good morning, True. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. Let's see, two. How have you been? All right, I need to see. All right, well, I haven't missed much of anything because we're actually trading inside of where we changed to a downtrend. If I zoom out, you can see here. So we changed to a downtrend pretty much at market open, and then we immediately kind of rejected, bounced a few times. So the only trade that I could have possibly taken was this one, which this sell right here, which I wouldn't have anyway because higher high with a lower low in the middle, which I don't take that type of divergence. So I'm just going to be patient and wait for us to break out on either side, or take a trade if the entry bar touches the top or the bottom, because this is basically a consolidation zone, a big one. Let's see, that's the 5-minute chart. All right, we're good. Oh man, True. It's been kind of all over the place. I was doing quite decent, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and then I wasn't. So, but the good thing is, with all the chart time and everything, I kind of figured out how to kind of simplify my strategy down to the bare bones of what I actually need. So during that process, I kind of had it as complicated as it could be in the process of me learning order flow, which, man, is so much to learn. But now it's just so much more simplified. So that's the good thing about it taking me so long. But we'll see. Hopefully my results from yesterday continue on. Good morning, Amelia. How are you this morning? News on the session, it looks like we have a FOMC member speaking at 9 and 9:05, and then 9:45, which by 9:45 I'll be out of here anyway. Then there's a tentative economic optimism, which on here on my chart it says 9:10, so we'll just treat it as 9:10. I'll leave it at that. Yes, all week. All week. Only, I mean, doesn't bother me. It's just every time it happens, I gotta sit out for 4 minutes. That kind of sucks, but it's all good. So we'll just see what happens. I wonder. Trying to see. This is basically where this consolidation zone is pretty much where the high of yesterday was. If I scroll back for you guys, you can see. So this is, wait, yeah, this is around 2 o'clock yesterday, 2:15. So you see we kind of hit the high before the market opened, traded underneath it, then kind of finally came back up. So this is kind of where we're trading right now, in this area. So I'll just be patient, patiently waiting for a breakout of either side. I did start the process of redoing my current analysis sheet, basically because the one that I have right now, that is from it kind of has everything separated a bit too much, only because that's from when I used to compare my reversal bar volume and delta to the highest volume and the highest delta in the swing that, the last swing before the entry bar. And so now I only do volume. I don't do delta. I don't really care what the highest delta was. I only care about like the highest volume, because that kind of shows the effort that I have to, the effort that I'm hoping my entry bar like pushes through. So yeah, I've started that process. It's like I said, it's probably gonna take me all week, honestly, just because I'm not really pressed to get it done very quickly, because I can still use it in the process of like creating my cheat sheet and stuff. It's just I want the more simplified version of what I'm doing now, because it's just a lot easier to look at. Way easier. So we'll see. Good morning, New. How are you this morning? Oh God, that's loud. Okay. All right, let's see. Looks like we might try to push on the bottom side. Good morning, Diego. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. How'd your open drive trade go this morning? All right. Didn't quite touch the bottom yet. You can see the low of the bar is 29.75 and the red line is actually 29.50. So didn't quite make it all the way down there just yet. Almost had the breakout I'm looking for. Didn't work. Ended up being a break-even trade. Should have been a... Oh no. Okay, yes. Please post a video. Good morning, Janelle. How are you this morning? Another TP over 3K pre-market. Gold hit over 4K. Whoa. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Nice trade. Nice trade. I think I saw somebody. What was that? I feel like I saw somebody talking about the price of gold in a stream. Maybe I didn't. I feel like I did, because they said 4K, but it was like some other kind of reference. It was like 4K with 4K or something like that. I don't know. But nice trading, nice trading. See if they know what happened. Looks like a bug to you. What happened with the ATM? If you don't mind me asking. But definitely hit them up if you think it was a bug for real, because they will tell you. I was on their head when I was having issues with my copier. Like, look, pay all that money I need for this to work properly, okay? By the way, Diego, have you downloaded the newest version of the... No, 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 never mind. Yeah, have you downloaded the newest version of the copier? Well, wait. You said it's the ATM though. Or would that be on Ninja Trader? Because I know you have the two accounts and you trade one account with one strategy and one with the other. Because I thought the only thing that was linked to the ATM with affordable indicators is if you have the chart trader, or if, well, no, isn't there a column where you can choose the type of ATM that's in the accounts dashboard? That might be a thing. I don't know, because I don't use that column. But I feel like it is, because I think you can set like different ATMs for different accounts or something. Dashboard too, but I don't use the copy. Ah, the chart trader. Okay, I figured it. I'm like, well, okay, so you have the chart trader. See, I do too. I have the closed bar chart trader. Yeah, definitely reach out to them then. For sure. They can definitely look into it. Was that yesterday that we... I don't know, I want to see something. It was yesterday. Yesterday we traded inside of the 15-minute opening range. Literally the entire session, pretty much. It looks like it broke out of the top side around 12:25 in the afternoon. I knew we were inside of the 30-minute, but I didn't realize we were inside the 15. Like, come on. What the hell is going on? And right now, we are still inside of the consolidation zone. So for those of you guys who are just tuning in, we changed to a downtrend. Pretty much right at market open. This is like 8:30 right here. Attempted to stay below, then traded back inside, attempted to break again. This reversal candle put us back inside again. And then we've just kind of been, we almost tried to break out of the top over here. So this is 8:35, and then we've just been pretty much bouncing between point of control and yesterday's high, which yesterday's high also has one of my pivot levels attached to it. So we've just been kind of bouncing back and forth. So I'm just patiently waiting for us to break out. Yes, consolidation crap. But I will say, the thing that I am happy about is the fact that I can kind of see consolidation basically before it happens, technically, because when we had the change to the downtrend, right? When it changes trends, I automatically can see where the consolidation zone will be before we even do anything to the right over here. So I can immediately draw the zone. I just usually don't until like we kind of trade into it. And usually when we do, that's when this level will flatten out. That's the top of the zone. So then once we get all of this choppiness, so like on the 5 minute chart, the zone is drawn here, like before this even happens. So then when this happens, I'm not surprised. So just like when we were talking yesterday, I think it was yesterday or Friday, I don't know, my days are all fried. But we were talking about how, some people will completely avoid certain days of the week. They will say, oh, well, I don't trade when it's choppy, which is fine. But how do you know when the choppiness is going to start? How do you know when the trend is starting? Like, how do you know these things? And a lot of times people they don't have the tools to even know. So they'll still at some point get caught in it. And then after they're caught in it, it's like, oh, it's a choppy day or it's a trending day. This doesn't work for me. But you just lost so much money in the process because you didn't even know what kind of day it was at the time that it was. So I feel like this market structure indicator that tells me when it's an uptrend and downtrend, it saves my butt, and keeps me out of chop. So far, it looks like I am going to have to only trade on the top and bottom of it. I thought that like if we're inside of the zone, but the entry bar touches like any other kind of level, whether it's yesterday's high, low, one of the pivot levels, one of the VWAP levels, something like that, that would be able to like give me enough strength to be able to push, the trade or whatever. But so far, no. It seems like it's kind of 50-50, but who knows, over time that might change, especially with me redoing things. But for now, we just gotta do it this way. So, all right, so we haven't changed to an uptrend yet, because on the price level, it's still pink right there. So when that turns green, then I'll know that this changed to an uptrend. Still pink. Now, it was almost what I wanted it to be. I didn't want the delta to be efficient though, either one of them. I wanted them both to be inefficient. But yesterday's high and the pivot level are so close anyway, I wouldn't have wanted to take that. So I'll still wait. That's the second time that we've pushed off the top though. You can see that's the first push right here at like 836. Almost equal highs. We pushed about a point and a half beyond where we did over here. Shoot. You're very patient now. No trades yet before the one I got robbed. I'm sorry. Oh, besides the one you got. I'm sorry. Yeah, just be patient. As long as you don't go on tilt because you're so mad about it, be all good. All good. What is he doing? Oh yeah, we do have news right now. Tomorrow's another day, period. Exactly. You do follow gold a lot too, but your focus is ES. Got you, got you. I think I'm pretty much gonna have to wait until, damn. Hold on, let me go see when this is actually scheduled. 9905. I don't even see the economic optimism on here on Financial Juice at all. Damn, I forgot the name of that website. Oh. Alright, still being patient. Patiently waiting for a breakout. Where was I going? Here. Alright, they have it listed at 910 as well. So it looks like I might not be able to trade until about 912 with both speakers speaking back to back, and then Financial Juice doesn't have the economic optimism on the calendar, it looks like. However, investing.com does have it listed at 910 like Forex Factory does. So I'm gonna just go based off of 910 and just leave it at that. So with all of the times being so close together and me stopping 2 minutes before and after each one, then it kind of makes no sense to trade until the economic optimism is over. Because like right now, I have to basically stop for the next speaker. Maybe after all of this, we'll push on the downside and then I'll finally be able to trade. We'll see. We'll see. Imagine if you traded gold instead of ES today. Chanel be trying to convert everybody away from the indices. But other stuff really does have better trends though, for sure. All right, there's the breakout. A nice one at that. Doesn't, well, we just hit, it looks like that's a double bottom there. Oh, nope, it pushed past it. But let's see if we go back and trade inside of it again. Come over to green pastures with gold. So we just hit the bottom of the 30-minute opening range. That's this gold looking box down here, the gold shaded box. I'm just hoping we can kind of stay below. As long as we don't trade back into the consolidation zone, I'll be happy. All right, 7 more minutes before I can trade, basically. It still says 9:10. If gold keeps running with 400 ticks daily, I just might hit my TP goal this month. You got this. Is there a lot of optimism when it comes to gold continuing with the all-time highs? Or even if they're not continuing, even if it's not continuing with the all-time highs, just with the way that the market is moving now? Because for a while, like when I used to trade gold, oh wait, they took it off the schedule now. Okay, I can trade. Wait, let me reload this again. Okay, yeah. Wait. Oh, they changed it to 9:02. Okay, so I'm clear to trade in 30 seconds. But yeah, at one point gold used to move so nice that I used to trade with a 20 tick chart on it, going for a 20 tick take profit, and it was about 20 or 22 ticks, somewhere up in there. But then it was just like out of nowhere, it just became so choppy and trash that I couldn't do nothing with it anymore. But I used to trade it on a 10 tick and a 20 tick chart though. All right, we have just pushed back into the consolidation zone, by the way. Pretty sure, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the top of it moved down though. It was a decent attempt to move the market down. Currently trading mini 30 to 70 ticks on swing trades. Nice. That's some pretty good movement. It's not trade on high consolidation days though. Yeah. Yeah, if you keep the discipline, I mean, if you could still hit your profit goal for the month, even being able to stay away from the high consolidation days, that's a win-win right there. Practicing the discipline and the patience, not getting caught in the chop that you don't want to be in, and still being able to hit your goals, even though some days might cause you to not be able to trade. That's a win there, all the way around. Look at that bar. Does it have equal opens? Well, open and close. See, close 1950, open 1950. Wow. No gap. These bars are pretty similar on the 5-minute chart. Oh, 14.25. The lows are almost equal. They're just a tick off from each other. How much time is left on this bar? All right, less than 30 seconds. It'll be crazy if this bar closes where the last 5-minute bar opened. Then it'll literally pretty much be the same bar. All right, there's a push up. All right, let's see what we do from here. I don't mind the push to the top, but we do have the session high at 275, so I'm not really interested in trading up there. But if we can get a trade in beforehand, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Good morning, Pred. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. What a choppy morning. Oh Lord, Nutty just entered the chart and said full scale FOMO trader here. Oh Lord. Green today? Yes. Nice, nice. Let me find out you like the choppy market spread. Where did he enter? A buy? Yeah. You know what? Causes of eye twitching. My eye has been twitching non-stop since yesterday. Lifestyle factors: fatigue, stress, caffeine, or nicotine consumption. That's not a thing. Alcohol consumption. Nope. The lack of sleep, eye strain from prolonged screen time. I know it's not eye strain because I'm not on my screen all the time, and I have an eye saver mode to help with that. Now, fatigue, lack of sleep. Well, dry eye syndrome. Blepharitis. I definitely don't have inflammation of my eyelids. Anxiety disorders. Guess that could be subconscious. I haven't felt anxious. Magnesium deficiency. That could be a thing. Although I do take my vitamins. Ugh. Benign essential blepharospasm. This condition involves involuntary muscle contractions and spasms commonly affecting both eyes. It's more common in middle age. Is that what I'm considered now? Stress, fatigue, eye strain, caffeine, alcohol, dehydration, allergies, nutritional deficiency like magnesium, potassium, and specific B vitamins. Chronic dry eyes, persistent discomfort. Take a 20-second break every 20 minutes to look at something 20 feet away. Cut back on stimulants. Yeah, so basically, probably lack of sleep is the only thing that would go for what I'm dealing with. Nutty has been gambling lately. Yeah. Middle age at 35. That's got to be it. My eyes twitch. Okay. Well, maybe it is just my sleep being just all over the place. It's so crazy because I've been doing a better job of getting off the game kind of early. Like for me, early is like midnight and just relaxing. Whether I then study a little bit or just lay in my bed. So I try to like wind down my brain earlier than I used to because before I would get off at like 2 o'clock and try to be asleep by 2:30. But I've been doing a better job of getting off way earlier than I used to. But like last night, for instance, I think I studied a little bit, but then at right before 2 a.m., I laid down in the bed. I ended up falling asleep like accidentally. I didn't expect to fall asleep. And that caused me to be wide awake by like, I think I woke up at 7. And then I went back to sleep at like 7:30 to wake back up at 8. It's so weird. The only time I can get sleep like straight through is on the weekends. And I think it's really just the wake up time of 8 o'clock because I'm not a morning person at all. And I'm a natural night owl. So, yeah. But at least on the weekends, I might go to sleep at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And, I can sleep until 11 or 12. So I think really that's what kind of screws me up a little bit. We are still just chop, chop, choppy, chop. Where's this last text message? Oh. Y'all, I cannot believe we're still consolidating like this. Oh, goodness. But it seems it works, though. It's the I guess for me. What are you talking about, Janelle? You almost there. Y'all, why a couple weeks ago, um a couple of weeks ago, somebody shared a picture showing that at their son's school, he went into, I think he's in high school, pretty sure, middle school or high school, went into the bathroom, and on the metal part of the bathroom stalls, like at the top that go up to the ceiling and across, there was like racial slurs that was written on it, the N word with ER, and I feel like it said kill these N words and just other stuff like that. So they launched an investigation because, you know, obviously they don't have cameras in the bathroom, but they have cameras that show like people going in and out or whatever. And based on, I guess, maybe based on interviews with students and stuff, they basically realized that it wasn't a student who did it, it was the goddamn on janitor. Like, just insane. Just insane. But yeah, that happened here. So they did arrest the janitor, by the way. I think he's still in jail. Mm. Oh wait, I didn't save. Oh no. Oh, I did save it. All right, I was looking to possibly buy the bottom right here, but you can see there's equal volume, 3.9K, 3.9K, so I can't. Neutral market. Oh, almost middle age and still fine as fuck, period. Green and done, nice. Why you ain't tell us, Amelia? Why we have to ask you? Did YM move pretty decent this morning? Not the same choppiness as NQ. CK ran over those 2 rows of... What? No. Good morning, Trenches. How are you this morning? Good morning, good morning. It's not bad today. Girl, I did not see that. What? Oh, but it's choppy now. Girl, no. Let me see. Sorry if y'all hear me typing. At least I type fast so I get it over quick. 17-year-old suspect in hit and run. Accused of intentionally hitting 2 teen girls on an e-bike laughing on a gaming site shortly after the crash. Wait, is that him? Oh yeah, relatives say they knew the driver and a restraining order was filed. That's just like I saw on one of my little shows that I watch on YouTube. I watched one where it was some teenagers. It was 3 of them. I think they were like 14 to 16. No, because I think the oldest might have been 15, because I know whatever age they were, they weren't supposed to be driving and or, you know, not supposed to be driving with other minors in the car. But I think they were all under 15. But they were driving and an older guy was just riding his bike, had lights on, reflectors on, everything. And they were so stupid they videotaped it, and I feel like they uploaded it to social media, question mark. But either way, you could hear them telling the driver, just hit him a little bit, just bump him. And they ran over that man and he died. Yeah. Like, what is the world coming to? Yeah. I just don't understand. All right, we have created some more volume in this swing, so I am possibly interested in taking a buy off the bottom right here. Possibly. Okay, or not. That's fine too. I don't mind a breakout. We're at the sell rotation level. What was I created? Oh, that double bottom over there. All right. I'm gonna have to look for the sell because yeah, that wasn't gonna be. I needed the point of control to move up. It wasn't going to. This point of control down here had like 147 volume in it. All right, so let's look for the sell possibly. Trying to look to see what volume looks like. Okay. We did just close back inside of the 30-minute opening range. Not interested. Point of control is a trap right now. Yeah, I'm not interested in a trap. Not at these resistance levels. I want it to be a continuation in the wick. And we just moved to the body anyway. It's crazy. You can see point of control is literally on the sell rotation level. Just moved. Got 15 minutes left in the session. Shit going on with this dull market today. Trenches, you haven't taken any trades at all? He was a gamer and streamed himself doxing one of the girls. They are dangerous. They were laughing and joking in court. Yeah. Some people are just so unhinged, and you just wonder, like, where did the evil come from? Where? Like, what happened in your upbringing or your experiences? Because maybe it wasn't your upbringing as in what happened in your own household, but what happened in your life to make that be a funny thing or something that fulfills you? Because you commit these crimes because they fulfill you in some way, shape, or form. And you just wonder, like, what the hell? I don't know. Very weird. Very, very weird. Well, today should be a very easy day to journal because we haven't had very many reversal bars today at all. Look at this. We're literally stalling on VWAP right now. Oh, what a push. Alright. Shit. Oh. Nothing I can do. That's a trap there. Which I don't take just yet. Not with that particular setup. Damn, I was hoping we reversed in that bar. That would have closed inside of the change zone to play off the bottom of the range. We did just push back up until the 30-minute range. Hands off parenting, no human interaction, just internet all day. Yeah. You journal trades you missed, either that worked or didn't work in your favor. Yes, Diego. So, during this entire time and process of me putting the strategy together, when I journal, after I journal like my starting balance, P&L, ending balance, any changes to my trail and drawdown, any just random notes about the day, and then then I journal my actual trades. I then right thereafter have a section where I journal every potential setup on the chart. So every time there's a reversal bar, it's a setup. The only time it's not is, let's say for this buy right here, if the zigzag is red, that's not a potential setup because it has to be green in order for me to buy, for pullbacks at least. So yeah, every time there's a reversal bar, it's either a pullback or it's divergence, trend or counter trend. So when I journal, I'll journal the time, I'll journal what type of pullback or what type of divergence it is. Let me write this because that looks like it's gonna close down. So I'll do that, and then I'll journal what volume looks like, because I only have basically two components of three. I journal what the volume of the swing is, as in like for this sale right here, right? So let's say this sale, I'll journal C is greater than A, because the volume of this swing up, which is, I look at A, B, C. So the volume of swing C is greater than swing A, because we got 7.1 and 905. And then I'll journal what the volume of this entry bar is compared to the highest volume in the swing up. So I'll put C is less than B, because I know that's volume. And then I'll just journal what the delta is of the bar, where the point of control is, and if it's a trap or a continuation. So I do that for every single reversal bar. And the reason why I do that is because, I'm still trying to figure out which combinations I like and do not like. And there's just been different things that have changed over the course of time, like different things I used to compare that I don't compare anymore. So that's kind of helped me to find out what I can take out of my strategy and what needs to stay. The importance of, say, the volume of this swing up before I enter a sale versus the previous swing up is to know how strong the buyers are attempting to push the market. So there's a lot more buying volume in this swing up than the previous one, which lets me know that the sellers have to be a lot more in control of the sale in order for it to likely work out. If it's a shallow pullback like this one, we got 766, 2.4K. If it's a shallow pullback like that, it takes less to move the market because the buyers never essentially took over, or they're not as strong as they were in the previous attempt to change the market structure or whatever. So I do that. And I just do all of the reversal bars that happen in my small hour and 10-minute session. I don't do anything outside of that. It's pointless. But yeah, so I do journal those as well. So even though I didn't take them, even if I didn't intend to take them, because I could be missing another volume and order flow combination that works really well, but I would never know if I only journal what I took, if that makes sense. So it's a little time consuming, don't get me wrong, but when you're in the process of trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like, you gotta kind of sacrifice time a little bit. So I just got to. But pretty soon I probably won't have to do that anymore. But also 962. Also with me changing Renko sizes, things that happen more often on the 16 tick chart, like certain combinations, don't happen as often on the whatever chart this is that I got, the 20 tick chart. So yeah, that's kind of a thing too. And then there's also, so the other reason why journaling that detailed is so important, right, is because I've basically figured out that certain levels don't matter. right? So before I was charting the overnight high and low, which is really just the 30-minute opening range for the London session. And then I realized that I don't need to do that because I don't even do that for New York. But it's an automatic setting inside of the market structure indicator, which is why I was using the levels. But something out of nowhere I think it was earlier this week or late last week, I'm like, wait a second. Those levels actually don't matter. Now, if the entry bar is attached to a resistance level and the overnight high, the overnight high being there doesn't really matter because I would be taking the trade based on the resistance level anyway. But there are times when the overnight high or low is the only level that the entry bar is attached to, and it's not significant enough to change the order flow, basically, which is why I don't like when we're trading off the bottom of the opening range or the top of the opening range. You can draw an opening range on anything, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, whatever. And so I've just noticed over time that it does not change order flow. Just because we're at the bottom of the opening range, the order flow does not change unless there's a different level there. So kind of the same thing with the point of control, value area, high and low. I'm 99% sure that I'm going to remove them from my chart. Well, not remove them, but just I won't have to draw the lines anymore. When I draw the lines to show where value area, high, low, or the point of control is for journaling purposes because I'm trying to make sure that those levels don't matter. The only one that might end up mattering is maybe yesterday's point of control because that is a static level. I've just noticed that the dynamic levels kind of don't really matter. They move around, at different times. And when I'm back testing, I can't see that those levels are there anyway, but the volume and order flow patterns are consistent based on like volume and delta. So yeah, definitely takes time and patience. Absolutely. It's amazing. I should do the same. You should, at least if you are still trying to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what components you think are important, which ones you don't think are important. You have to kind of journal all the different possibilities because that's going to be the only way that you can truly figure out, what's important and what's not. When people try to say that there's no mechanical strategy that works, that's not true. You just have to figure out what components of a mechanical strategy matters for the way that you're trying to trade, how you see the market. But that takes time, energy, and effort that a lot of people are not willing to put in. And I will say one thing that I've noticed and learned over time of looking at volume and order flow in such a complicated manner is that volume and order flow are pretty consistent in patterns that paint. When some people, are trying to figure out why the market is doing what it's doing, most of the time the answer is in either volume, order flow, or both. For me, I like the combination because volume tells me the effort that's being put in. So to give you a good example, let's see, might not have an example from today. Let's see. All right, this is a good example here. So like in this pullback here to attempt to, create an uptrend. So clear downtrend. Now we're trying to see if we can switch to an uptrend and continue up, right? If you look at the volume of this reversal bar up, there's like 952 or some, there might be 82 volume in this candle. There's only 537 in the highest volume bar on the swing down. So that means that there's a lot of effort by the buyers to attempt to switch the market to an uptrend. Now, sometimes higher effort is good. Typically on traditional pullbacks, it's not. Depending on the volume of the swings, most of the time, the only time like really high or higher volume is good is on divergence. And that's only because you think about it in divergence, we're creating a lower low and trying to buy, or we're creating a higher high and trying to sell. So it's naturally going to take more effort from the sellers to attempt to push the market down. Whereas if this is just a pullback and it's a good pullback, it should take less volume and less effort from the buyers to push the market up. The more effort it takes, the less efficient the pullback actually is, or the reversal actually is. So that's just something that I've learned over time of trying to do this. I mean, I'm coming up on 2 years of putting this strategy together because I started around December, or maybe it was like late November, early December. And it's been a journey, and it's been a frustrating journey over time, but I will say that I'm very grateful because all the chart time just really helped me to understand the market even better than I understood it in previous years. But I think learning and understanding order flow was like the hardest thing. And mainly it's just because there's literally no information out there in regards to volume and order flow and combining it with Renko's. So I basically had to kind of learn on my own, which sometimes is a good thing because it's kind of like how they say, you know, somebody can teach somebody how to trade who's never traded before. It's easier to teach them than somebody who has traded before, because you're starting off with a clean slate. So maybe it is a good thing that there is no content out there regarding order flow and Renko's, because if it was, then whatever I would have learned from someone else's video or blog post or something like that, that education would have been kind of etched in my brain to where I wouldn't have been as open to like understanding what I see when I look at the charts, kind of thing. But yeah, so that's the end of the session, you guys. No trades today, which I'm not really bothered by, to be honest with you. I rather have a flat day than be super red because I'm forcing things, or you know, because I'm just getting caught up in chop that there's no momentum to try to push through. So I'm not bothered at all. I'll take it. I'll take a flat day all day, every day. I think I've been on the same journey as you time-wise, coming up on 2 years. Into this year, the 1 year I was learning was something that was all over the place, but indicate. Yeah, exactly. And as long as you go into it knowing how much time it might take you, sorry, I gave myself 2 years. When I got on YouTube, I told myself 2 years. And that was just because I knew what my goal was. I knew my goal was, I'm not trying to swing trade. I'm not trying to intraday swing trade. I really genuinely want to be in and out of the markets in an hour and a half max. And I knew I wanted to scalp. And I knew I wanted as close to a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio as I could. And I knew I was trading the most volatile instrument during the most volatile hour of the market being open. So putting all of those components together, I knew it wasn't going to take me 3 months. I knew it wasn't going to take me 30 days or, you know, whatever, 6 months. I knew it was going to take me time because I knew it was going to take extensive journaling and analyzing data and all these different things in order for me to find what was going to work for me. You know, some people kind of get, I wouldn't say jealous, maybe envious, or, you know, they watch different people and it's like, man, I want to get to that point of this amount in payouts and all these different things. But I'm going to tell you something. One of the reasons why seeing other people's payouts do not motivate me is because, especially, you know, most people will actually share how, not most, some people will actually share how much money they spend in evals and PAs to get to that point. And for me, from a psychological aspect, I cannot fathom spending 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 in a year. And this is no shade to anyone. I'm talking about my psychology. It does not work for me. If I make 200,000 but I spent 50,000, yes, I'm net positive, but for me, knowing the price of evals, knowing the low cost of PAs, $50,000 is a lot, and that signifies or signals failure for me. that means I'm not doing something right. My goal is to get where I want to be financially, with payouts and stuff without having to completely overspend on those type of expenses, if that makes sense. I still need to build on my confidence and trust the setups. You know what, Diego? I think part of building on confidence and trusting the setup, if you journal properly and you build your database of data, that will give you more confidence in the ability to trust your setups because you know the data backs it. The more you trade off of intuition, or even if you do have like technical parts of your, technical analysis, indicators, things like that, if you are not journaling to a certain extent of what does the indicator tell you? Okay, is the indicator red or green? Is it over, like, let's say you use a MACD and you're going for a buy and the MACD is over the zero line. But what if the difference between a win and a loss is that the MACD value is over 30 versus just being over zero, if that makes sense? So if you have different components of your strategy, being able to journal it in the most detailed way will take time, but over time you'll realize what matters, what doesn't, and how to just be more efficient. And then that way, when you take trades, it's like, shit, that, look, let's say I have a 65% win rate. This is just one of those losses that happens in the 35%. I'm cool. It won't make you go until it won't make you question things because you have the data to back whatever you're doing. Patience, something that I have very little of. Why do you feel like you lack patience? I knew it was going to take time, but not this much. But I realized quickly that it's way harder. It's way harder if you don't want to spend a significant amount of money because you are blowing accounts all the time. Working, still have saving for this journey though. God, I have to social pressure for my family to go on this third year. Yeah, and sometimes the social pressure is the worst. It's like, oh, the money's not a problem. I saved for this. But it's everybody else asking you like, okay, so how are things going? How did you do this week? Or you still trying to do that trading thing? That can be kind of annoying. My goal is to make this for a living. Same for me. Document everything so I have data to back it up. Yeah, do it. And you don't necessarily have to journal it for, like, I journal physically. Like, I legit, to my right, have about 15 journals over there over the last 2 years just of data, all the different ways that I was doing the strategy, trying different indicators and things like that. But you can possibly use Excel. My only problem with using Excel was that I felt like it took just as much time as physically journaling. And sometimes with like physically journaling, there might be things that I might change. So like, let's say I journaled today's session using bid ask, which is the delta and everything that's on my charts right now. But at some point in the future, I decide I want to go back to up down tick, which I highly doubt. It's very easy for me to just go back to that particular day, pull charts up for that particular day, change the setting to up down tick, and just write whatever little small differences there are between the two. But there was a time where I was journaling in Excel, like trade examples. And the only thing you do, you just have a column for the date, the time. If you have different setups, like I know you have your open drive trade and then you have the other one, I would do a separate tab for each one since they're completely different. But doing the date, time, whatever setup it is, then all the different components that you have in your strategy should be a different column. And then if you don't know how, learn how to do drop down menus. So it was very easy for me. Like I would just like boom, 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 this drop down, click that, this drop down, click that. But like I said, over time, it just kind of took the same amount of time as physically journaling. And it's something about physically journaling for me. I retain the information a little bit better than doing it something on a computer where it's just drag and drop or something. So you're welcome, Diego. You are welcome. But yeah, just figure out which way you want to journal, whether it's physical or online journal. And then if you don't have like TradeZella or something like that, even going so far as to having an online journal, whether it's Microsoft Word, just anything like that, where you can journal whatever I took this trade because XYZ, screenshot of your chart on entry, screenshot of your chart on exit, you know, and just kind of going from there. That will also help you over time too. But journaling is so key. It is so key. Sometimes when the market is super volatile, it might take me like legit an hour and a half just to journal everything, like from start to finish, starting with my balances of my accounts and stuff like that. And it can be annoying, but it's like once it's done, it's done. And then I'll typically, like after I'm done journaling in my physical journal, I'll use Genius Scan on my phone to scan the pages and print it out. And then I will use the printout because I like to print it out versus using what I've journaled in my journal, because I might mark things up. I usually will put a check mark next to each line as I transfer the data into my analysis sheet. The analysis sheet is what's key for me, because that helps me to see what matters, what doesn't, what combinations work really well and which ones don't. Like there's certain volume and order flow combinations where when I see it on the chart, I know, do not touch that. Just don't. It's pointless. Eventually, like certain ones, it might be where when that reversal bar paints with that volume and order flow pattern, I'm actually going to get into an opposite trade. So for instance, let's say this buy right here. If it's an invalid trade, I'm actually going to enter, not all of the time, but certain combinations, I'll enter a sell. And so the reason why I'll do that is because I've already seen that with this particular combination, price never goes far enough for me to win the trade, right? It's not going to hit my break even level. It's not going to hit my TP. So if I keep the same stop loss and take profit, for instance, let's say I get in here, the stop loss would be 22 ticks. The take profit would be 22 ticks. So you see, if this is a combination that always produces a loss and I get into a reversal, I'm basically getting into this reversal early. So I would have won this trade and not hit the stop loss. And whatever happens after the bar reverses doesn't even matter, because I should almost always TP before the reversal bar even happens. So even if we come down, hit the take profit, and then continue up, it'll be fine because I'm already out of the trade. So that's something that I am going to be looking to in the future after I gather enough data, because that is another way for me to get entries, when the traditional patterns don't work out. So we'll see. But yeah, good commentary, good conversation today. No need to show you guys my accounts. It's the same as yesterday. 914 from being funded on one of the accounts. Both of them have about $1,500 in drawdown. Now, the one account, I think it renews in it'll be almost, let's see, it'll be next Wednesday, so almost a week from now. So I'll probably start to multiply contracts starting tomorrow, especially with yesterday and today being so choppy. Who knows how the rest of the week is gonna go. So I'll probably just multiply contracts and go from there. Then my TPT account should be back tomorrow because I think it renews at midnight if I'm not mistaken. But that's it for me, you guys. I thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry I couldn't take any trades today, but at least I kept myself out of chop. Okay. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please like the video on your way out if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.